Not quite famous, not quite famous, not quite famous.
We're almost there.
Not quite famous.
We're almost there.
Not quite famous.
But we're not quite famous.
Hey guys, welcome to episode number 5 of the Not Quite Famous podcast. We have a great episode this week. I know I say that every week, but it's true. It's great. You want to know why it's great? It is great because we have an amazing guest. Our guest is a good friend of mine, an amazingly talented friend of mine, cabaret star and vocalist Carly Ozard. Carly is amazing. She's a woman who likes to spin a lot of plates. She does solo cabaret performance. She's also a stage actress, vocalist. She's even got some new stuff going on that she just told me about that I didn't know about before this. She likes to spin a lot of plates. It's a good way to put it. She's like one of those people who's just spinning plates on sticks, and she's always spinning like 5 or 7 of them. And here's the thing. She doesn't drop them. Yeah, Carly does not drop any of those plates she's spinning. She's incredibly talented. Most people do a ton of different things, and there's a little bit of mediocrity here and there on some of the stuff. Not Carly. She nails everything. I'd be hard-pressed to find something she tries that isn't going to be great. She's a bi-coastal stage actress and cabaret performer. She's conceived and produced and mounted more live solo productions than I have time to even list here. She's funny, charismatic, interesting, and honestly, she's someone I'm lucky enough to call my friend. We've known each other for a long time, and she's awesome. We discuss casting archetypes in theater and what it's like to start out in the musical theater world, because we both have that background. And we even discuss why love songs are overrated. She's not a big fan of old school love songs in her shows, or any of the old jazzy standard love songs. And she's just great. I love listening to her talk almost as much as I love listening to her sing. She talks about her new show, Midler on the Roof. It's going to be in San Francisco November 9th, so you guys should check that out. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed talking with her. It was great to catch up with her. I haven't hung out with her really since she moved to New York, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I am sitting here while I record this right now on the patio of the Casa Bellicoso Cigar Lounge in Walnut Creek, California, which is my favorite cigar club in the Bay. That's why you guys can hear, I think you guys can hear some traffic sounds. I'm actually relatively close to the 680 freeway in the East Bay. But I'm sitting on the patio smoking a cigar, enjoying myself, and I'm just relaxing, thinking about how it's my favorite time of year. It's about to be Halloween in a few days. I'm excited. I love Halloween. I've always loved Halloween. I think part of that comes from being a nerd. It allowed you to partake in cosplay before cosplay was like a thing. It's it's always entertaining to find that out. That other people want to participate in weird shit you want to do, like dress up as superheroes for that matter. Halloween was always a big deal to me. I didn't really partake in any craziness in the last couple of years. Just would go out to parties, things like that. But now I have children, and that is what makes Halloween interesting again. It makes Halloween a lot of fun. All the silliness about Halloween all of a sudden is relevant and back in your life when you have kids. I even came up with a really awesomely nerdy costume. I'm a big Batman fan, and I'm a huge fan of the original 1960s Adam West incarnation of Batman. If you think if you're a comic fan and you think that's like Adam West is lame and it was a shitty version of Batman, here's the thing. Rewatch that shit as an adult, and you will realize what a brilliant comedic actor Adam West is. That Batman TV show is so brilliantly funny. I implore you guys to please check that out. I love the Batman, the movie, the original 1960s one that was theatrically released. There's a famous moment that encapsulates all of Batmandom, or all of the, I was about to say Tim Burton, Adam West Batmandom, and it's, there's a moment where Batman, in his bat helicopter, excuse me, because he has a bat helicopter, of course he does, he and Robin fly out to the middle of the ocean to rescue some yacht that's in trouble, and they find out that the yacht was a mirage. It wasn't actually there. And Batman gets attacked by the most amazingly fake-looking rubber shark in history. It is great. It is so hilariously awesome to watch. So he has this gigantic rubber shark on like his leg inside the mouth of it, and he's just pummeling it, just beating the crap out of this rubber shark. And I think I remember hearing at one point that that's what you're supposed to do if you get attacked by a shark, is punch it in the nose, which is kind of Batman's solution to everything. But I wonder if that's like true. I want to know that, because like it's like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Did someone actually learn that that's what you're supposed to do with a shark, or did somebody watch Batman punching a shark in a movie and say, "Oh, that's how you deal with a shark attack. You punch it"? I'm genuinely curious of which came first. I'm sorry, I'm puffing on my cigar. But it's awesome. It's one of my favorite moments in the movie, and this is what makes it campy as hell, besides the fact that he's beating the crap out of a rubber shark, is Robin slides down the bat ladder from the helicopter and proceeds to give Batman a can of bat shark repellent spray. He gives him this little aerosol can that blatantly says bat shark repellent spray on it, from a box in the helicopter that said various oceanic repellent bat sprays. That's what the box says in the helicopter. So Robin goes down, gives him the bat spray, and he sprays it. He sprays the shark. And he sprays it, and he sprays it, and sprays it. And the shark lets go. Because the shark was clearly upset about Batman's carbon footprint spraying that aerosol can all over the ocean. Wow. That was amazing. And it's such a funny sequence to watch. And when you're a kid, like I was like maybe 6 or 7 the first time I saw that, it's compelling as all hell because it's Batman and he's fighting a shark with his bare hands. It's amazing. It's the most amazing thing you've ever seen in your life. And then you watch it as an adult and it's hilarious. And it's a great moment of physical comedy. And I played that sequence for my 4-year-old, for Ty, and he thought it was amazing because he's really fascinated by the ocean and things like that. So he saw Batman fighting the shark, and he used to be afraid of sharks, and now he's not anymore because he knows that if a shark ever attacks him, that he can get some bat shark repellent spray, and this is like perfect. What's hilarious is that there's all these different types of bat sprays in this box in the helicopter. One of them's for like barracudas, one's for sharks, one's for stingrays. And I just thought, oh, if only Steve Irwin had had a can of bat repellent stingray spray available to him. But alas, we lost Steve Irwin because he didn't have any oceanic repelling sprays with him. I don't know why I started breaking that up. I'm talking like Adam West and William Shatner put together. But here, the reason I get into that and how that ties into Halloween. So I've got Ty, who's my 4-year-old, and then we have the newborn who's 7 weeks old now, just under 2 months. And so I've got to come up with a costume for the 3 of us because I'm taking Ty trick-or-treating, which is awesome. Because I haven't done that in 15 years. So, like, I get to go out and enjoy trick-or-treating, which is kind of great. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. So I decide. My wife, who, I don't know why she came up with this, really wants to put the baby in a shark costume. Like, that's her ultimate goal. She wants to put that baby in a shark costume. I don't know why. She thinks it's the cutest thing ever. Came up with this on her own. And I want to do a nerdy costume because I always go full nerd on Halloween. You know, like last year, Ty was Batman and I was Bane. I even shaved my head and everything for it. Like I go full nerd on Halloween. And so what we're going to do is the baby, Oliver, is going to be in a shark costume. Tiberius will proceed to be in a 1960s Batman costume. And I will be 1960s Robin, and he will be carrying around a can of Silly Spring that I've decorated to say bat shark repellent on it. And that is my nerdy costume. And it is my wife getting her shark costume for the baby that she so desperately wanted, which I can't figure out. I don't know why she wanted to put a shark costume on him, but it's great. It worked out. Everybody's happy. I get my nerdy costume for the kids. She gets her shark costume. I got to figure out how I'm going to be a fat fatty of a fat Burt Ward as Robin, because Burt Ward as Robin was a little dude. So I don't know how that's going to go, but we're going to try it out. We're going to see if we can make it work. I'm excited. I love Halloween so much. It is my favorite time of year. I don't do any of the cosplay stuff at any conventions or anything like that. I don't go to too many conventions anymore in general, but when I do, I'm not going to put the effort into cosplay. I might encourage Ty to, once he's a little older, I'll start taking him to conventions and stuff. And if he really wants me to, I might be inclined to do it. But because I have no dignity and self-respect, as those of you who listen to this podcast will know. So I'm super excited. Halloween is going to be awesome. I still have this funky beard right now that my wife made me grow because she likes it for some reason. I was trying to, if we hadn't come up with a group costume, I think I was going to shave it down into like some huge chops and just like Wolverine it up for Halloween, because it gives me an excuse to walk around with a cigar in my mouth. But yeah, I'm excited for Halloween. I hope you guys are too. Hell, if you have a cool nerdy Halloween costume, tweet it at me. You know, at NQFpod on Twitter, or Facebook.com/NQFpod, or tweet me at Greg Astorian. Send me pictures of your nerdy Halloween costume, current or from the past. Let me know. We can have a whole Days of Future Past with Halloween costumes. It'll be great. I am super excited that Halloween's coming. This will post a couple days before. I also love talking to Carly Ozard. She's great. Super talented. Super funny, like I said. I think you guys are going to enjoy this interview a great deal. Have a good one. I'll see you for a little bit at the end. We are sitting here with Carly Ozard, the tremendously talented Carly Ozard. Singer, performer, cabaret star, just all-around awesome person. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? I'm happy to be here. Like I said, this is the straightest place I've ever come to work.
That is true. This is definitely probably the straightest place me and you have ever been at together, definitely.
Yeah.
Because even like when we'd hang out at your apartment and stuff in San Francisco.
The Castro.
Well, yeah, in the middle of the Castro, and we're surrounded by musical theater framed artwork. And I think the last time I was at your apartment was an Oscar party.
That's true.
Where I think I was the only straight male at that thing.
Yeah, most likely.
I believe so.
Most likely.
Yeah. But no, this is awesome. I've been wanting to, for one, just catch up with you for a while. We haven't seen each other in a minute. But also, you've got, like, you're such a unique beast, because you've got...
That's my new hashtag.
Unique beast?
Yeah.
Like that's going to be the next show title. We
Unique
just came up with it right there.
No, I have an idea for my next show. I think I want to call it I'm Not Bitter, I'm Just Bored.
My next album is going to be titled, because this is inspired by my wife, Failing Upwards. That's good, because that's kind of been the theme of the last few years for me. But no, you've got all these. You live in like a couple different worlds, because you do the cabaret thing, you do the musical theater thing, and it's interesting because most people don't do both. You see people kind of like focus on one discipline. Or if they try to do multiple things, they're like mediocre at many different things they attempt. Whereas then you are legitimately talented. Like I have thoroughly enjoyed everything I've seen you do.
Oh, thanks. I'm in a third world now.
Are you?
Yeah.
What do you got going on now?
I have been signed to a recording contract for electric dance music.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's kind of great. You kind of remind me of like Jane Krakowski's character on 30 Rock. Like she kind of has all these random things on her resume, but that's, you know, as shocking as that is to hear, I'm sure you're going to be amazing at it.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, you don't do mediocre. That's not really your style.
No. Nope.
Yeah.
That's the next show also. I don't do mediocre.
anymore.
Anymore. Kevin was a long time ago.
Oh. You know what's funny is the only person who ever names names about people that annoy them is me, and I've probably like inadvertently burned so many career bridges on this thing already. Like there's like comics that annoy me that I've vented about, venues, things like that. And really, like, I have 2 children now. You'd think I should be in the business of like continuing to work, but no, I'm just going to keep venting about stupid things and embarrassing myself. I kind of in the fringes of it come from like kind of the similar world as you, because I have the theater background. I have the musical theater background, but my acting career is a celebration of mediocrity.
That's not what I heard. I heard you were amazing in that zombie musical that you I heard you were like ridiculously excellent in that.
I was funny. I don't know. Like I didn't have any. I wasn't a lead by any stretch of the imagination, but it's weird. Shows like because I was in Evil Dead the musical, and I don't think I've talked about that on it. And it's weird because that show had such a cult following to it. And the thing with really like obsessive fanboy type people like that is that they will follow you from one medium to another. All of a sudden after that show, I had a stand-up following that didn't exist 6 months before that. So it was kind of insane. All of a sudden I had these crazy Evil Dead the musical fans who would come to see the show like 5, 6, 7 times, some of them. And they would all of a sudden come see me do stand-up because my name was Googleable and stuff like that. And yeah, it's insane.
I thought it was Asdorian. It's Googleable now?
It's Googleable.
Okay.
It's
Great Googleable.
Yeah, our Asdorian is too ethnic to work or have in-laws apparently. But yeah, it's I haven't done any musical theater in a long time.
You're not missing much.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's a nightmare in New York. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, New York.
16 bars at 7 a.m. Go.
Oh man, I haven't had to do like a cattle call like 7 a.m. audition in a long time, thankfully. They did one recently actually in San Francisco. They did one at the Punchline, and it was for NBC's diversity like thing that they do, which because they can't say black. I've noticed when you look at their website, you look at all the people that have been picked for this thing like previously, Kamau Bell, Hannibal Buress. You know, all these African American comedians and like one Indian guy, and then so just you're looking for black comics. I get it. NBC is very white. We all know that. Tracy Morgan was it, and then that's gone now. So now you got to figure out something else. I get it. Because what's funny is that because I'm Hispanic and Middle Eastern, I'm not enough of either to get booked for either one thing. It's kind of funny. Like,
I hear you.
Yeah, like because what's your background?
White.
Just white?
I'm German.
Okay.
I am boringly German. Next show, boringly German.
So yeah, it's weird.
I actually hate being so boring.
Yeah.
Like whenever I go to like the Greek festival in Belmont or anything that has some kind of a cultural influence, I go, God, why am I not any of these things?
It's severely overrated. Dude, all it'll take is one encounter with the police for you to never say that ever again. Like, I remember there was a Twilight Zone episode where, like, this guy was, like, a really hardcore racist, and then all of a sudden he steps out of the bar he's at, and he's in, like Mississippi in, like, the 40s, but everyone thinks he's black. Everyone who sees him as a black man, and he has to experience racism. It was really, really poignant. And I remember I had a very Caucasian friend of mine I grew up with. We watched it together, and it just went right over his head. Like, he didn't get it. Like, he didn't see it. Like, not beyond the obvious, he didn't get it.
Oh my God.
Like, he's not retarded, but
maybe a little. I'm kidding.
Maybe a little. He listens to this too. Anthony knows. He knows I'm talking about him. Yeah, it's like it kind of cracks me up. Things like that is that even me, I didn't experience racism in an overt way until like 5 years ago, and it was one of the last like theater anything jobs I had. I was the assistant technical director for a theater group in Danville, California. which it turns out, we found out from another comedian I had on here who lives out there, was the beginning of the Bay Area Tea Party was in Danville, California.
Oh.
If that paints a picture for you guys listening.
Oh my gosh. Michelle, keep your children away from the Danville Tea Party. It's my girlfriend who I see whenever I come out here. I'm seeing her right after this.
Yeah.
But keep your 2 little ones away from the Danville Tea Party. Auntie Carly will come after them. So.
But yeah, it's just paints a picture, cartoonishly white, this town, and just so many 40-something, plastic surgeryed up, white divorcees, just amazed that I could speak English. Just so grateful for that. And I was 23 maybe, and that was the first time I'd ever had that in my face. That's racist as shit. I had never full on experienced it because I'm surprisingly passable, I guess. Yeah, it's like somebody wants to tell me, oh, but you're so well dressed when you perform. What the hell does that mean?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So it always cracks me up when I have my white friends kind of see that happen, but they still don't get it, but they try to pretend they get it.
Oh.
That always entertains me a great deal because San Francisco plays, I think Oppression Olympics is what my friend calls it. It's really entertaining. They just try to understand and compete in every type of oppression that's out there, and they can't. All right, so back to the musical theater thing. So I kind of came from that world. I did the musical theater thing in college, a little bit here and there still, but, I like making money, and it's hard to do that doing musical theater.
Uh-huh.
I'm also never going to play a lead in anything.
Me neither.
You see, you have the vocals for it, though.
I know, but it's one of those things where, it's so weird. I did this casting director workshop, right?
Okay.
In New York. Okay. Who wants to volunteer to sing for all the casting directors who cast all the Broadway shows at the same time? Me! And so it was so funny because all of them had such different things to say, and I really encourage, by the way, if anybody wants to go out to New York and try to make it in the musical theater world, this is a really good workshop to do. All of them had different feedback. Some were really sold on my Ethel Merman sound. Some were really sold on, they kept Mary Testaing me into a corner. Mary Testa is a woman who works on Broadway consistently. She's really great. And they kept, making me, saying, oh, you're like her. And I'm like, no, I'm like myself. Yeah. And then one guy in particular just liked me for me. And he keeps me on file. And whenever I run into him, he's always like, yeah, I'm always thinking about you. And I'm like, sure, okay. But apparently he is. And, my voice teacher says, unfortunately I have to slim down. And I've never experienced racism because I'm as white as the day is long. But, being heavy set and a tall, 6 foot tall woman is hard in the business. And I would love for someone to write me a role. That would be excellent. But, it's hard. And the casting director workshop was just so eye-opening to find out, what I really have to do to really be in that world.
Yeah, I've had a lot of agents and casting directors tell me that I'm really immensely talented but not marketable at all.
Okay.
Which is kind of the other side of that coin for as far as the problem goes.
Yeah.
I always joke around about this, is that there's only allowed to be one successful heavyset man in Hollywood at any given time. So until Kevin James is dead, my career's not going to move on.
He's not even. Okay.
No, he's not, but he's there.
Yeah. Well, so, Melissa McCarthy, but she's short.
That's true.
See, I am a tree. Everybody's like, oh, but Tracy Turnblad. I'm like, I am 6 feet tall. Yeah. You would have to cast Andre the Giant to play Edna. And that's not going to happen.
That is true. That role is the bane of the tall girl. Because it's appropriate, especially for a heavier set girl, but it's not. But if you're too tall, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
And yeah, that sucks. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
I joke around that I want to go in and audition wearing knee pads and do the whole audition, and then I'll be the right height.
Nice.
Because it's always a short, chubby girl.
Yeah, I played Edna.
Did you really?
In college. Yeah.
You'd be so good at it.
It was a lot of fun, and the guy who played my husband in the show, what's the character's name?
Oh, I forget.
But yeah, he was great. He was a buddy of mine, and we had really good chemistry. So we would just play off each other really well, and it was a lot of fun.
I want pictures. I want proof.
There are, I will. I'll post them in the show notes for this, but I'll email you some pictures afterwards.
I must see.
Yeah, I'm a fugly woman. It turns out that is not like. You're like, I thought I was a fugly man. Turns out I'm pretty good as a dude. Femininity is not where my strengths lie, it turns out. I have a beard right now, and I think I'm more feminine than I looked in that show.
That's amazing.
Yeah, my wife is thoroughly entertained by all this, because she loves musical theater, and she loves comedy, she loves all this stuff, but was never a part of any of it. Like, she full-on is a functional member of society.
Wilbur Turnblad. I had to look it up.
Okay.
It was driving me crazy. I had to look it up. I'm sorry. I couldn't concentrate.
I still love that show. If I ever got the opportunity to go out for that role for like a professional theater or something, I would do it.
I think you should. Yeah. I really think you should.
Yeah. In another 5 years when they remake the movie or whatever, maybe. Before I fade away into obscurity in my career. But, so when did the theater stuff start for you?
I was like 8 years old. And I was working, because I was working when I was 8, apparently. I was living in Belmont, California, where I'm from, and I just did a children's theater thing, and I got to do, explore, like, what I thought I really liked. I'd watched The Music Man growing up. It was my favorite thing. It was so weird, because I didn't even relate to Marion. I just loved the music of the score, like, and the fact that I was 6, 7, 8 years old and identifying with Meredith Wilson's writing, like, gay man, party of one, and then the other thing is like, I rarely watched Sesame Street. I always had concerts on. Okay. I always watched Neil Diamond and Elvis and Carol Burnett and Stevie Wonder, and that's just kind of what it's like. Even before I could test my voice out on a scale, I was like, that's what I'm gonna do, and I just knew it. I feel more comfortable as myself rather than playing a role. That's definitely something I've discovered in this industry. So I started doing Christmas Carol at Notre Dame for many years, and I started doing just my school shows in Belmont. And then, just theater was so great for such a while, and then it just wasn't anymore. And it's probably because of my experiences surrounding them that made them a little bit less. I really wanted to be a concert performer. I really wanted to have my own show, be on my own stage, kind of run my own show. And there's no major for cabaret. There's no major. True, yeah. There's no major for, if you want to be Adele or if you want to be like Celine Dion, like, there's no major. There isn't.
It's true.
There's a major for theater. There's a major for musical theater. There's a major for vocal performance. There's a major for music business. But there is no major for how to become a singer. And that's because you literally have to make your own thing happen for you. Which is why when I had my opportunity to audition for the electric dance music, I went for it. Because
why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
So I would love to be a recording artist and DJs wanting to work with me. And like, if it means that I can travel and go to different clubs across even Europe, like, I feel like I'm winning. Like,
fair enough. It's kind of funny because there's a very similar thing for comedians. Like, I had all this stage experience, but none of it was relevant to doing stand-up, like, at all. And it's funny, like, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, my stage presence was at like an 8 when I started, but my material was at like a 3. And it took a while for those to even out.
Right. Oh my God.
And so I knew how to be on stage, but my material was really mediocre. A lot of heavy jokes, a lot of like, I'm fat and that's why this is awkward. That was like the first like 5 years I was doing stand-up, and including my first album, which is funny, but it's still like, there's not a lot of personality to it. It's not a lot of, my material became a lot more personal. I kind of figured out how to properly like point all those like angry emotions in my writing and stuff like that. But what's interesting about the cabaret thing with you, and this is what I love about what you do, is that it's a precious mixture of old and new, because you're taking classics and standards, but you're doing them in the way, honestly, I think only you can do it.
I don't really do a lot of standards. That's something that I chose to make sure that I didn't do, because I feel like enough people, especially in New York, do them.
Okay.
And it's like there's only so many times I can hear Fly Me to the Moon. There's only so many ways I can hear Cry Me a River. There's only so many ways. Also, I don't need to sing about love all the time. And a lot of standards are about love or losing love or needing love or wanting love. And I'm like, oh my God, I really just want to sing about something else. And I like singing about psychology and life. So, that's where Cat Stevens comes in. That's where a lot of different artists come in who I think taking a song that people have heard their whole life, like when I did Sitting by Cat Stevens, most people don't even think about that song because they think Moonshadow or they think Peace Train or, Morning Has Broken or something like that, something that he did. And Sitting is very rarely ever mentioned whenever I talk about songs with people. And Sitting is about mindfulness. Sitting is about being in the present moment, whether life is terrible, whether life is good. And I like finding those songs and bringing out those meanings and straining them out and presenting them on stage, going, see everybody, see what I figured out? Do you see it? So I do that in my next show, Midler on the Roof. I'll tell you, the song that I do it with is I Think It's Going to Rain Today, that Randy Newman wrote. and Ben Midler sang it in Beaches. Okay. And I do it with I Think It's Going to Rain Today. I used to not understand what that song meant. And what it is it's literally, for me, it's like everyone is talking about this really great thing going on. Whatever it is for you, whatever it is for the people, talking about this great thing going on, but it's not great for you for some reason. It's not great for you. Okay. And everybody's talking about, the lyrics are, human kindness is overflowing. Like everyone's talking about, it's like everyone's talking about, oh, this great program that I did, and I love it so much, and look at me now, and 10 other people are saying it, and you're over there going, I tried the program, it didn't work. I think it's going to rain today. And that's what the song is, and you can apply that to love. It's like, my first love, everybody loves him, and I hate him. And so everybody talks about how great he is. Everybody talks about how fantastic he is. I have to see it on Facebook. I have to see it on buses. I have to hear it on the TV and on the radio. And I have to hear about how wonderful this man is. And I'm sitting over there and I can't say anything. So human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's going to rain today. And that's what I like to do with songs.
That's nice. I never thought of it that way. That's really interesting. I think the last one of your shows I saw was it Shift Happens?
Probably.
It was at the Raz Room in San Francisco, and great show. And we've been friends for a while, so I kind of knew some of the background to that show. And wow, even though it's like not material that's like original to you or anything like that, like you found a way to make it so personal in a way I don't know if I'll ever be brave enough to do with my comedy. Like I talk about like things that have happened to me in a very abstract way, and I just love the visual of you with a little like notebook on stage.
Oh, you're talking about
am I talking about the wrong show?
Yeah, you're talking about Something Wonderful. Something Wonderful, that was a trip. Oh man, that show was a trip. They literally called me and they were like, we need a description for your show tomorrow. And I was like, I don't have a show. Don't tell anybody, I don't have a show. So I literally sat there and I like looked at my computer until 2 a.m. and I typed like delete. Carly Ozard what? Delete. Life it, delete. You know what I mean? It was like one of those things. And then I was like, and I just kind of like typed out sort of what I have been going through, and I pulled a bunch of songs, and I was like, maybe I'll do that someday. And then we had a show, And I was like, I don't know how to write this show right now because I was at a time in my life where everything was terrible. And so I was at a time in my life where I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to reach out and have a bunch of people write stuff and I'll say their words and that'll fill time. And I'll narrate it with a song and people will think it's brilliant. And they did. So that's what happened with that show.
That sounds like the first time I had to do an hour on stage.
I can't even imagine.
I think I had I had maybe a solid 40 minutes.
Hours talking.
And just bullshitted my way through 20 minutes of it. But what do you do? You want to work. So was like, can you do an hour? Yeah, I can do an hour.
Yes, I can. No.
You bet your sweet ass I can do an hour.
Yeah, it's amazing what we're asked to do. And it's I swear, at one point, they wanted me to churn out shows like people churn out babies. And I don't understand. Not enough has happened to me in my 31 years of living to fill 9 shows. But lo and behold, here we are with 9 shows. And I really try hard not to repeat songs. I really try hard not to have them be from the Great American. I call it the continuation of the Great American Songbook. If the American Songbook had kept going, I think many of the songs that I've done would be in them.
That's true. There's a lot of songs I've heard you do that I'd never heard before.
That's the point. We don't need to hear My Funny Valentine 17 times. Let's listen to something we've never heard and think about it.
No, the idea of singing alone with a live band terrifies me for some reason. Especially a real band. You have a pianist who I'm pretty sure fluffs the tail of his tuxedo.
I have a what?
A pianist.
Oh. Okay.
You guys don't see my bewildered look right now, but
I heard something else.
That was very Freudian.
I'm sorry, that's what I heard. I was like, I haven't been called a drag queen in years. Go ahead.
Did you ever do that, the faux drag queen?
I did. I had to. I had to do it twice. I had to do it once for Channel 4 for Gay Pride, and I found out literally 24 hours before because I was just going to wear a feather boa, and then they were like, no, you're going to be on TV. We need you in full faux drag. And I was like, I don't know what that is. So I called somebody I knew, and I asked if I could raid their closet, and I did. Got to keep everything though. It was cool.
Nice.
So back to what you were saying, sorry. Singing with a live band terrifies you.
Yeah.
Standing and talking for an hour terrifies me.
See, that's so home to me now.
Oh.
Probably because I'm a narcissist in a lot of ways, but which is all that this is. This is just you're not going to come see me, so I'm going to shove this in your face through an email now.
Oh my God.
That's what this podcast is that this is my way of getting all my narcissistic tendencies out of my system since I'm not going on the road right now because I just had a baby. That's all this podcast is. And I'm just masking it as
I'm glad to help.
I'm gonna have my friends, other comedians, man. But really, this is still just I rap for 10 minutes at the beginning of this thing on my own, just talking about my day, which is what I would do to an audience on stage normally. But no.
Well, my whole thing is this. If somebody that you've known your whole life, whether it's very, very, it's they were your student once, or they went to school with your kid, or, you went to school with them, it's I'd be interested. If someone I knew was a basketball player and around here, and I'd go see them. Because I'd be like, wow, this is crazy. You've made a life out of this.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I'm always really surprised when people are like, oh, I'm totally going to come see you. And they never do. And I'm just what? Okay, I don't know what's stopping you because it's a really fun night out. It's a different experience if you don't do this a lot.
Yeah.
It's a different experience, and I think everybody should try something once.
I don't know anybody who's known me longer than 5 years that still gives a shit I do with comedy.
For me, I have really wonderful friends who come to my shows. They never miss a show. Yeah. And they're really funny because they come to me if they have to miss it for a real event.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm really sorry I can't come to your show. And I'm like, it's okay. You've come to everything else.
This is a really shitty way to find out I'm just not likable, I guess.
That's not true. You've got a huge following. People really like your work. I like your work.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to admit, I was fishing for a compliment.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I totally got it right there.
Cast the line. I'm baited. Goodbye. But
how long ago was the first time you got a chance to do a solo cabaret thing?
Wait, say that again. How long ago?
How long ago was the first chance you got to do cabaret?
The first chance?
Yeah, on your own.
I guess that was Bitter and Be Gay. So 2 Two guys I dated in high school. The third one was a prom date, but he was out and proud by then. But two guys who I had dated in high school, not seriously, they both came out like within a year of dating me.
I got one of those. Yeah. Not a guy that came out, but a former girlfriend that came out.
Yeah, and it's like the good news was it wasn't anything serious, so it didn't make me question like what But I thought, wow, a girl that turns guys gay, that's a concept. Like that's funny and sad.
I like to think that no man can keep up with me. That's the mentality I'm going with.
Well, that's how I feel, and I'm shit out of luck. So, basically, Bitter and Be Gay came to me, and this whole idea of kind of two simultaneous things happening. One is that I couldn't get, any straight men in my life very often, whether like friends or more. And the other thing was we were approaching the age where people were starting to go and want to get married and have babies. And I don't want to have babies. I've never wanted to have my own kids. And so I was like, oh no, here we go. It's going to start happening. My friends are going to have babies. They're all going to disappear. And I'm going to be like the old shrew in the corner and turning guys gay. That's funny. That's a funny character.
It is funny.
And so I decided to make kind of a mockery of myself and make fun of myself while also talking about being a voice for maybe the other people who might want to go a non-conventional way too.
Okay.
And that's where the cabaret came from. I was like, I don't know how many people are out there who might relate to this, but my guess is there might be more than I think.
Okay.
And so that's, I was at the Octavia Lounge, which is no longer with us, which makes me sad.
Yeah, that was a beautiful spot.
It was fabulous! And boo. And I co-created with Sean Ryan and Barry Lloyd, Bitter and Be Gay. And it was a triumphant entrance into the solo singing world. And I really, I was coined the Kathy Griffin of cabaret after that performance, and I love that.
Where does that leave Kathy Griffin?
Way richer than I am.
Yeah, but she's kind of a cabaret act without.
She doesn't sing.
Yeah, but she doesn't sing, but it's kind of the same audience.
I figured out, just like you do when you're on stage, what works for you, and then unfortunately what doesn't work for you, and. Basically, long story short, I figured out that telling the truth works for me.
Okay. And
telling the truth in a way that other people need to hear it is also really successful on my side.
Okay.
So, Bitter and Be Gay was the first one. And then... Bewitched, Bothered, and Bipolar. That was interesting because I'm not even bipolar. That's fun to find out that you were misdiagnosed 9 years after you tell the entire Bay Area that you're bipolar. Yeah, that's a good time. I found out last year that
theater girl bipolar. That's so unheard of.
I had a diagnosis since I was 21, and then all of a sudden last year, almost 10 years later, they were like, "We don't think you're bipolar. We think you have PTSD," and that's what it was the whole time. So I am now med free and very stable, and so I'm kind of boring. But
was the first one a veterinary psychologist? How did that?
I think it was just bad. A whole bunch of bad on top of each other. I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's one of those things where I can't focus on it anymore because now I'm stable and it's weird because I have clarity and I can make really good decisions and I'm starting to like myself. So it's weird.
And my wife is trying really hard to make me like myself. And
I think you should like yourself.
She likes me so much that I kind of have to believe her.
That's nice.
Yeah, she's kind of cartoonishly supportive of my career.
Cartoonishly supportive.
Yeah, to the point where like Maud Flanders almost supportive of what I do, and I almost don't know what to do with it. I have no idea how to respond to that. Someone believing in me, I don't believe in me.
Right, and that's where our material comes from.
Yeah.
But we have to overcome that shit somehow to get to the next level.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
What's nice is that it evened out because all of a sudden, I'm married, I have this amazing woman in my life, I have this family. But okay, well at least her in-laws are a piece of shit, so I can talk about that on stage. That's my silver lining, everybody.
At least she lets you.
She does. She knows that if she's tried to stop me, I wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't be happy about it.
Well, I have friends who are like, oh my God, don't piss off Carly. I'll be in her next show. I have control. I'm kidding.
Well, it's funny. Every girl that I've dated has always been like, I'm afraid you're going to talk about me on stage. And I'm like, I don't talk about the good ones. That's on you.
That's amazing.
Like, I had the first, really bad breakup I went through. I was, 22, and I recorded my first album, maybe 6 months after that. And there's, 20 minutes about her on it. And I ran into her at a bar here in Walnut Creek. And I had the CDs in my car, and I ran into her. She was really rude, just kind of ruined my evening. So I decided to leave, but I went to my car and I grabbed one of my CDs and I threw it at her. I said, guess which tracks are about you? And I walked out.
That's amazing.
It is. It's petty, but it's incredibly satisfying.
I revealed something in Midler on the Roof that, New York could care less about, but people in the Bay Area are going to give a shit if they figure it out. If they're smart enough, they'll come to my show and they'll sit there and they'll wonder which 3 songs I'm singing about which person. And seriously, I literally keep looking up. My musical director, Steve Marie Watkins, is one of my best friends, and I sit there. I'm like, I'm really afraid to do the show in the Bay Area. I'm really afraid. I don't list any names. I don't say any names, but the clues that I give, oh my God, it's going to be so obvious to the people.
Do I know at least one of these people?
No.
No, okay.
No.
So it's not who I think it is.
No. He doesn't matter. Oh my God. I forgot that he existed until I was in New York and I saw a really tall guy that looked like him and I was like, oh, dude, I forgot about him. It was great. Anyway, but yeah, there are 3 songs in my show all put together in a medley that talk about a really pivotal, crazy-ass experience in my life when I was really young. And I'm afraid if my audience is going to come and they're going to put it together and they're going to go, oh my God, no way! Yeah. And I mean, part of me wants that, and the other part of me is like, I really hope this doesn't blow up in my face later.
Well, have you dated anybody in your community, in
New York?
In general, in the kind of musical entertainment-y community around, in general?
I tried. You know him. He's terrible.
Well, fair enough. I had I started talking about this on stage finally now that I'm married and settled down and stuff like that. There's no real backlash or potential for backlash to it. But I dated a girl who wasn't a comedian at the time, but started doing stand-up after me.
Oh, that's annoying. Was she trying to copy you?
No, not at all. It wasn't like that. It was nothing that pedestrian, unfortunately. But and what's funny is this involves our favorite person that we're talking about, in quotation marks right now. Not in a weird way, but just he just happens to be part of the story. And this girl, she was on the sidelines of the stand-up community, so she was she worked at a club, but she wasn't a comic at the time, and we met.
She crossed over.
Yeah, and we had this little fling for a while. I thought we were dating, turns out we weren't.
I hate that. And
somebody found out, and someone, our very tall mutual friend,
Voldemort.
got a little drunk.
He shall not be named.
That works. And his nose is huge. We say worse things to each other's faces all the time. He is still one of my best friends, this person we're not talking about. But he got drunk and made a comment to her about the two of us.
I'm sure.
And she panicked and told a room full of comedians that I made up the whole thing. That I lied about, nothing ever happened between the two of us. And now she tells that story. She talks about it on stage, still with her being the hero of the story. And she's not funny, which is really satisfying.
Oh, yes.
She's so horrendously unfunny that it's awesome. Every time I watch her bomb, I just high five myself.
Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
That's awful. Wow.
Yeah, I talk about dating actresses a lot on stage now too, because I've dated a lot of theater girls over the years. And yeah, if you ever wanna, it's dating a theater girl is kind of or dating a theater girl who isn't self-aware is kind of playing tennis against a brick wall. It's fun for a while, but it's exhausting, and nothing changes. Yeah.
Exactly. It's so hard, especially in New York, because everyone's trying to trample each other to get something.
Oof.
And so it's really obnoxious. Oh my God, Idina Menzel's over there. Oh my God. That's all I hear when I'm in line for auditions. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't care. And it's just this weird jargon that goes with being in theater. that makes me want to run away screaming. It's a jargon. It's like a cult. Like once you cross over to be in a certain thing, you start developing the language, right?
Yeah.
That's a psychological evaluation. And that's what's happened with musical theater, is that these people obtain this jargon that it's like a big abyss that they can't get out of. Nailed it! Work, girl! And it's like, oh my God, can you have a real conversation with me? That'd be really awesome. Yeah. And everything is like, my friend just went on a date the other day with this girl, and he was so excited about meeting her because he's an actor and she's an actress, and so
good is going to come of that.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, we had a positive outlook on what we hoped would be a good thing. Sure. And he texted me. He's like, she's like a crackhead with ADHD, because everything was about her being on stage in the date. That is not okay.
No.
That's not okay.
Well, see, also what I think is the problem is that I've seen this happen with comics who date each other is eventually somebody gets more successful than the other person.
Oh, yeah.
And it just destroys everything. It's this time bomb waiting to go off. And
that's why, it's one of those things where, like, dating somebody in your industry has perks and dating someone out of the industry has perks. It's really hard to find a balance in what we do.
Yeah, I dated an actress who, we're not even dated. She was using me as a fuck buddy, and she was a very, very attractive girl, a leading actress type, and it was in college. And she said this is something that will stay with me for the rest of my life, because I learned a very valuable lesson from this. And she said, honestly, Greg, if you weren't such a big guy, I'd probably give you a real shot. Which is really similar to things I've heard from agents and things like that. Like it's kind of like so that awful. One. Yeah, it's horrendous, and I don't even believe in hell, and I know there's room in hell for her. But like that moment of rejection taught me a lot of things that prevent me from getting upset at rejection professionally. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. Oh, it's just you were just the first of a long line of judgmental, crappy people that I'm going to deal with the rest of my life.
Yeah, you look at it as a challenge.
Yeah.
I've yo-yoed with my weight for years, and it's one of those things where, other people are who say, the people that say that they have a problem with my weight. You know what I mean? And it's like, I sat down and I started this conversation with this 98-year-old former coloratura soprano waiting for my voice lesson in New York. And we got into a really nice conversation. She was really sweet. And I was like, wow, she's so sweet. Excuse me. And so she asked if she could keep in touch with me. So I handed her my business card, which has my headshot on it from when I was a lot lighter. And she looks at the card and she says, honey, what happened? I was like, I'm thinking maybe she doesn't like my hair so short. No. And she's like, what happened to you? And I was like, life? Rehab? I don't know. And but it was so funny because we had this lovely conversation, and then that's how it ended. And I was like, and she's like, oh, you got to get back to this. You got to get back. You're beautiful in this photo. Because I'm apparently this absolutely ugly ogre right here sitting talking to you. And she's like, oh my God. But I was like, you know what? You're 98. You're not changing your ways anytime soon. You're going to die soon. So
yeah. Listen, the fucking crypt keeper had the balls to fucking judge your appearance.
But, I have goals and I have career ambitions, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. I have a manager now.
Nice.
And she's probably the kindest woman I've ever met, yet she's a shark. I can't believe it. I can't believe how I lucked out. And, it's a whole thing. Weight is a whole process. You got to figure out why. You have to figure out how come. You have to figure out all the myths that you're dealing with to try to figure out, well, I feel that way, but is that really true? No, I think it's actually just kind of a legend in your mind. And, the weight comes off when you start to process why it was there to begin with.
You know what's fun? There's a headliner I used to tour with a little bit, and he passed away recently, actually. His name was John Panette, and brilliant comedian, and he was a large guy. Like, he was like, he had a good 150, 200 pounds on me. Large guy. But he was so brilliantly funny. Like, I think he's one of the best comedians in the last 30 years. And he had this amazing career and this amazing following. And was the night, like, I'm terrified that I'm going to end up being this angry, bitter guy looking at pictures of all my skinny actor friends being like, fuck this. And, like, that terrifies me that I'm going to grow up to be that guy, because I'm not there yet. And I looked at John, and John was so nice and so genuine and didn't have a mean or disappointed bone in his body. And I'm like, okay, fuck all the conceptions about appearance, because you can be successful and happy being a big dude. Like, that was very inspirational to me. But on the flip side, that girl who said I was too fat to date her also hooked up with Michael Scott Wells. So there's... So, you know, it's just two sides of a coin. It's just a coin toss. We'll see how that lands. Am I going to be bitter, or am I going to be successful and happy? Or successful and bitter. I'll survive with I'll deal with successful and bitter. That works too. I need uglier friends. That's what this comes down to. I need uglier friends. Because all my friends have been good-looking leading man actors since I was 15. And, yeah.
Well, it's about, for me, it's about the obstacle with loving myself. You know, it's like, why can't I be pretty? Why can't I be attractive? Why can't I be all of these things? What's in the way of me allowing myself to have nice things? And that's what I'm on the road to doing personally right now. And my manager's helping me, which is, who knew? Who knew that managers could be supportive? You know what I mean? Like, you know, and it's one of those things where, like, I'm actually really excited about getting started, because our bodies hold a lot inside that we need to work through. And if we keep ignoring them, we're never going to let it go or work through it, and we're never gonna come out on the other side with more self-awareness, which is part of what I like to bring to the table in my shows. Because my whole thing, I don't know, have you ever heard of Coco Peru? She's a drag queen.
Oh, yeah, okay.
She's a drag queen, and it's like, she's not just a drag queen, she's also a stand-up comedian as well, and with a great voice. And, you know, she said she was on, I don't know if it was Muni or the subway, and somebody was just yelling, faggot, 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 faggot at her. And she turned around and she said, I'm in a wig and a dress. Don't you think I figured out that I was a faggot a long time ago? and I say that the same thing with the people who are like, what happened to you? You were so beautiful once. What happened? With that accent. And, you know, it's the same thing. It's like, oh, gosh, Carly, you should lose some weight. You have such a pretty face. You know, all of that, you know, that's just those people on the subway. I know. And so I'm here to tell you, this is me right now, whether you like it or not. And I have a lot of stuff to say, and I have a lot of songs to share, and a lot of perspective to give. And you can take it or leave it. I'll take your money, you leave.
My friend Jackie Cation, very funny comedian, she starts off her set on her new special, and she just goes, I'm overweight. Consider it addressed. And then she never mentions it again. And just like...
That's great.
Like, because you feel like an audience is always waiting for her to make the joke, and she just doesn't. And just acknowledges that she's not going to, and that's it. And that is so liberating, and it's something I will never do, because I keep coming up with really clever fat jokes.
But that works for you right now.
It does.
And that's what matters, is what works for you right now.
Yeah. I gotta get on that whole loving yourself or bulimia. One or the other. Either way.
No, don't do bulimia. I think, you know, your wife obviously sees, you know, what you need to see.
Okay. I thought you were going to say sees potential, which I don't know if that would have been a compliment or not.
No, I was not going to say potential. I was going to say she loves you, and you need to see what she sees.
Yeah, I still can't believe I settled down. Imagine the me you met, like, what, 3-4 years ago?
I don't want to talk about that here.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Well, no, but it's just like, would you have ever imagined me settling down
No,
for a period?
no. That's why my mom was like, wait, he has 2 kids? What happened? And what happened?
What's funny is that, like, I settled down, and then I had the instant family, and it was great. And less than a month after we got married, she got pregnant.
Yep, that happens.
Yeah, like, okay. We had plenty of sex before we got married. I don't know what...
Thank you for sharing.
Well, you know, it's such is life. I didn't want to offend your prude sensibilities. But it was just funny. And it was just crazy. Like, apparently, like, the universe just decided, okay, you're just gonna become a full-fledged person now. You're gonna have all these responsibilities and things you have to worry about. And my 4-year-old, my stepson, is finally starting to get a concept of what I do for a living.
Oh, okay.
Which is really interesting to me. He thinks I sing because he just knows I stand in front of people with a microphone.
Oh.
And so it's very entertaining. But he also thinks that I'm personal friends with Batman. So, like, his perspective of reality is a little...
Wow.
skewed.
How'd you pull that one off?
Because I have a really fast black car, and he thinks it's the Batmobile, so he thinks it's amazing. So he said, why do you have the Batmobile? Well, Batman loaned it to me. How did Batman loan it to you? I'm like, well, we're friends. We went to college together.
We're friends on Facebook.
Yeah. So just... it's really interesting. So, like, I'm trying to reconcile being a responsible adult and being a successful performer, because I feel like those two things can be diametrically opposed to each other. I got to start hanging out with comedians that are good dads.
Do they exist?
Handful. I've been a handful.
Because the only comedians that I know that you know don't know how to grow up.
No, they do not. They're all in their 40s and don't know how to grow up.
I know, it's really sad.
Yeah, it's interesting. Thankfully,
9 women in 1 week is not okay. So anyway,
yeah, I can't judge that at all, because I went through a really bad breakup before I met my wife. And for a few months I went on tour, and I kind of took vengeance on the women of the greater United States for a couple months.
Oh.
And I'm not proud of that. I'm a little proud of it, but I'm not overtly proud of it. And I'm proud of it in that stupid male lizard brain way. But it's like, I get it. I get it. You can have those times when you're being a shitty person at other people's expense, but you have to acknowledge that and then move on and grow from it.
But what if you exist as a shitty person?
If that's your neutral,
primarily,
that's not going to end well.
Nope.
That's just the thing.
I had to learn that before I went to rehab, because I was just, I was at that point where I was just trying to get my hands on anything to not participate in life. And I had to go and I had to map it out. I had to admit everything that I had, partaken in. I had to really come to my own personal consensus of why and how and what to do next. And it's, it's so hard. It's like what you said. All of a sudden you had to show up. You had to grow up, be a dad, be a husband, and then be a new dad on top of it.
Yeah, it's I had to make that choice, do you love these people enough to make these changes that you need to make?
Exactly, and you have to ask that about yourself.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
Because
I went through my fights with depression and things on my own.
Yeah.
And yeah, I came out of the other side a better person for it.
Yeah, and I was a better person after rehab, and it's been incredible, and I've been allowed, I have now allowed myself to go out and see things and experience things without drugs that I would have never wanted to experience without drugs before.
Yeah, I spent most of 2012 in a scotch-induced haze.
Right.
Because I have the habits of the 80-year-old man.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, cigars and scotch.
Yeah.
There you go. But, yeah, it's just... The thing about what we do, whether stand-up or cabaret or performing as a solo artist, no matter what it is that we take our lives and we take what we've learned and we show what we haven't learned. And put it out there for everyone to see and hopefully relate to and hopefully take away some feelings about the subjects. And then the next time we get the chance to be on stage, we get to do it again and we get to maybe fine-tune our work. But my thing is, like, I go an extra little mile because I want to be a humanitarian besides a performer. I want to be a performer and humanitarian.
Whereas I don't even care about my carbon footprint, really.
You what?
I don't even care about my carbon footprint, really, at this point.
I want to be humanitarian because I want people in the audience or people who hear this or people who hear whatever, however, I don't need them to know my name. I just want them to say, I really felt that way too, and I'm so glad somebody else does. Because sometimes for me, if somebody says something or if I read a passage in a book or something, I go, oh my God, somebody else has felt this way, and I feel less alone, I feel less weird, I feel less singled out. So
what are you going to be putting out into the world right now?
Midler on the Roof, Feinstein's, Sunday, November 9th, 2014 at 7 p.m. I would go on Gold Star, guys. Get your tickets for half price. If not, you'll be paying between $25 and $45 plus a 2-drink minimum. You can find your tickets at hotelnicosf.com. And info and reservations are 866-777-8932. And again, it's Feinstein's at the Nico on O'Farrell and Mason in San Francisco. And Midler on the Roof, it's directed by Broadway and cabaret veteran Christine Zvornik and musical direction by Stephen Ray Watkins. And I'm flying him out from New York next week, and he's never been to San Francisco, so we need to get him a boyfriend. So, basically, come see the show, Midler on the Roof, one singer's journey of divine intervention. I tell the truth. I sing lots of fantastic songs. I have incredible backup singers provided by the Coker sisters, Jessica Coker-Moore and Jenny Coker. They are sisters. They are solo artists. They are a duo. They are everything. And Dan Fabricant on bass, and Erica, I just met her. I can't remember her last name, on drums. Sorry. And of course, Stephen on the piano. But basically, Midler on the Roof, it's kind of about life in New York and the entertainment industry, as well as my truths that I find as I go through leaving rehab triumphantly and going into the world as a new solo artist for the next big thing, which is electronic dance music. So it is my last cabaret show for a couple of years, and I'm going to read this little thing. To Carly Ozard, Bette Midler was always there throughout life's journey. This tale narrates growing up through bullying and finding self-acceptance through Bette Midler's music. So, please come.
Yes. Please see her. She is amazingly talented. Go see her live. She's not in the Bay Area too often, so go see this. This will be up before that, so I'll make sure we plug it. Carly, thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
You are the best.
You are the best.
This was a great reminder of why we're friends.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
So, that was Carly Ozard. She was great. A lot of fun, right? Yeah? Told you she was a lot of fun. Yeah? See what happens when you trust Greg? You end up getting entertained. She was a lot of fun. Please check out her show on November 9th, Midler on the Roof. That's with an M, Midler. It's a great show. It's going to be amazing. November 9th in San Francisco. Go to carlyozard.com to get all the info for that. You can also follow her on Twitter at CarlyOz. And that's at CarlyOz. Yeah, so follow her on there. Follow her on the Twitters. You can find her on Facebook. Yeah, tickets for her show, carlyozard.com. Can't be more difficult than that. She was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad that we got to talk. I'm so excited for Halloween. Halloween is coming. Halloween is coming. Halloween is coming. Those of you out there with kids, if you're taking them trick-or-treating, be safe. Give them something reflective. Nobody wants to get hit by a car on Halloween. That's the real danger. No one's putting razor blades in apples anymore. I don't think. I know I've never seen it. So the real danger is getting hit by a car. Don't do it. It's not good for your health. Not good for children, especially. Don't get hit by a car on Halloween. That's what I'm telling you guys. I'm excited. I can't wait. I got my Robin stuff. and Ty got his Batman costume, and the shark costume should be here any day now from Amazon for the baby. It's awesome. I'm excited. I get to be Robin, Ty's gonna be Batman, and we've got a shark to spray with Bat Shark Repellent. Can't ask for more. Some more business. Music, as always, is done by Rob Dillinger, the amazingly talented Rob Dillinger. I should get him and Carly to do something together. That'd be amazing. Yeah, Rob Dillinger, at Rob Dillinger on Twitter, robdillinger.com. Check him out. Check us out. I almost forgot. Oh my god, what kind of promotional person am I? Follow me on Twitter, at Greg Asdorian. Follow the podcast on Twitter, at NQFPod. Or find either of us on Facebook. Facebook.com/NQFPod. Facebook.com/Greg Asdorian. Boom. Bada bing. Those are the websites. Or you can get all your NQF Pod craziness, or you can stream the episodes on gregasdorian.com. And all the links to all my social media stuff is on there, all the social media stuff for the podcast on there, as well as show notes about who our guests were for all the episodes so far. I know there's only been 5, but still, all the info's there. It's like a not quite Famopedia page. Happy Halloween, you guys. I'll see you next week. I've always wanted to say this. Same bat time, same bat channel. Not Quite Famous podcast.